3 days before the wedding, my wife's mother cornered me in her opulent living room, the kind of room that looked like it belonged in a magazine. She thrust a thick folder into my hands, her nails clicking against the embossed leather. "Sign this," she demanded, voice sharp, almost triumphant. "I won't let a poor woman like you steal my daughter's money." The words hit me like a slap. Every muscle in my body tensed, and I felt my jaw tighten instinctively. I looked up at her, the smirk frozen on her face, the one that said, "We've already won." My fiancée, standing awkwardly to the side, tried to hide her discomfort, but I could see the panic in her eyes. I opened the folder. A prenuptial agreement, meticulously drafted to ensure I would never touch a cent of her family's wealth. Legalese masked in a condescending trap. They truly thought they had everything figured out, that their money could protect them from me. I smiled slowly, calm but cold. "I see," I said, closing the folder with deliberate care. "You think I don't have a choice, that your money defines my value." Her smirk faltered slightly. "Your family, your background, it's nothing compared to ours. This protects her future." I nodded as if agreeing. Of course, protecting her future is important. And then I let the truth slip just a hint. "You should know I'm not as poor as you think." Her eyes narrowed. "Excuse me," I said. "I'm not poor." My voice was steady, confident. "In fact, I have $30 million of my own, and I wasn't planning to flaunt it tonight." For a moment, she blinked as if she hadn't registered my words. Then her expression shifted from smug triumph to disbelief. The air in the room changed instantly, heavy with tension, with the realization that the chessboard had shifted. My fiancée's hand found mine, trembling. You never told me," she whispered, a mixture of shock and awe in her voice. "I didn't need to," I replied, giving her a reassuring squeeze. Some lessons are better taught at the right moment. Her mother took a step back, fumbling with the folder. You can't just weave this. This is outrageous." Her voice cracked under the weight of her own disbelief. She had prepared to intimidate me, to assert dominance, to make me bow, and suddenly the entire foundation of her plan crumbled. "You thought money made you superior," I said softly, letting each word land like a hammer. "But respect isn't bought. It's earned." I watched as the other family members in the room whispered amongst themselves, stunned by the reversal. The people who had tried to humiliate me were now scrambling to process the reality that I could outmatch them in ways they had never imagined. 3 days before our wedding, they realized that the woman they assumed was marrying beneath her had chosen a partner who could stand toe-to-toe with them, financially, emotionally, intellectually. I could feel the tension radiating through the room, a mix of fear, respect, and begrudging admiration. That night, I walked out of their mansion with my fiancée beside me, holding her hand tightly. "You don't have to sign anything," I whispered. "Not now, not ever. We'll define our own future." Her eyes glistened with tears. "I can't believe you kept this from me," she said softly. "I wanted you to marry me for us, not for money." I replied, "Now they know, and that's enough." Over the next few days, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Invitations were sent, arrangements made, but every interaction with her mother became a subtle game of acknowledgement and avoidance. She could no longer wield the weapon she had tried to use, and every smile she forced, every polite word, carried the faintest trace of defeat. On the day of the wedding, as we walked down the aisle, I caught her mother's eye from across the room. There was no smirk this time, only a guarded recognition. She had underestimated me, underestimated us, and the lesson had been delivered silently but unmistakably. As we exchanged vows, I whispered in my wife's ear, "We built this life together on our terms. Nothing they do can change that." She squeezed my hand, her eyes full of love and relief. The money, the status, the pretensions of her family, they no longer mattered. What mattered was trust, partnership, and the undeniable fact that we had outsmarted the game they thought they controlled. That night, after the celebrations, I reflected on the irony. People spend their lives protecting wealth, building walls, and underestimating others. And yet, sometimes the strongest power isn't inherited or flaunted. It's quietly amassed, strategically revealed, and used to protect what truly matters. 3 days before the wedding, they tried to intimidate me. By the day of the wedding, they had learned a lesson they would never forget. Never judge someone by the money you think they don't have. And I had $30 million to thank for teaching it.